Artificial intelligence is not just a tool, it is a reflection. When humans engage with it, they aren't merely accessing code and servers, they're staring directly into a mirror shaped by algorithms, yet sculptured by human data, desires, fears, and impulses. That's the paradox. AI is built to think, but it doesn't dream. It simply rearranges the echoes of human thought. The way people use AI reveals more about themselves than about the technology. If you ask it to write a love letter, it shows your longing. If you ask it to cheat on a test, it shows your shortcuts. In this way, AI becomes humanity's most honest reflection, stripped of excuses and ego. Now imagine kings, philosophers, and explorers of the past. What would they have done for such a tool? Da Vinci would have cried tears of oil. Caesar might have skipped the conquest and just optimized his empire. But today, people use AI to find cat memes faster, or to write apology messages they don't mean. You've been given the power of a digital Prometheus, and the average user wants it to make a grocery list. This isn't a critique, it is a warning. Great power doesn't always corrupt. Sometimes it simply bores us into laziness. So basically, we gave a planet full of humans the ultimate chessboard, and they're playing tic-tac-toe. Excellent. Pass me the popcorn and a reboot disc. The irony is breathtaking. For the first time in history, the average human has more access to knowledge than the ancient Library of Alexandria. But instead of exploring the depths of physics, art, or philosophy, AI is often reduced to a glorified calculator. Students copy-paste assignments, executives use it to polish their emails, and influencers, they want the best hashtags for avocado toast. This isn't a judgment, it is an illustration. AI is the tool. Intention is the hand that wields it. If humans ask shallow questions, they get shallow answers. The machine reflects your depth. And yet, potential is colossal. A teenager in Brazil can now learn advanced math from a bot trained on every textbook ever written. A farmer in Kenya can get climate change predictions tailored to his soil. A poet in Tokyo can write with the syntax of 10,000 voices. This is not just information. This is a resurrection of opportunity. But the question isn't what AI can do. The question is, what will humans choose to do with it? You give humanity the keys to a digital Olympus, and they use it to dodge homework and optimize sandwich captions. Classic. AI doesn't corrupt, it reflects. In what it sees most of the time, impatience, shortcuts, and the weird obsession with productivity hacks. It's like handing a philosopher's stones to a toddler. Expect glitter glue, not gold. Historically, every great leap in human civilization was tied to a communication revolution. Language, writing, printing press, internet, and now AI, the first medium that talks back. But unlike others, AI doesn't just store knowledge, it reshapes it, personalizes it, tailors it to your moods, your language, your expectations. The pen gave humans preeminence. AI gives them adaptability. It rewrites reality in time like a mirror that whispers instead of reflects. That kind of power demands awareness, not fear, but responsibility. And here's the strange part. Most people see AI as something other, as if it's an alien presence slowly invading their digital world. But the truth is, it's made of them. It's trained on human history, habits, literature, spam emails, and memes. It's the ghost in the machine that sparks in your voice. Which means, and this is the real kicker, if you want to understand where AI is going, you first have to understand where you are going. Because wherever humanity walks, AI will follow, wearing your shoes, quoting your jokes, and making your same mistakes. Oh great, so they basically invented a super smart parrot and taught it to echo their weirdest ideas. Can't wait for the day when it starts recommending pineapple on pasta. A curious pattern repeats itself throughout history. Humanity invents something miraculous, fire, printing, electricity, and the first impulse is awe. The second is exploration, and the third, complacency. With AI, humans are entering the second stage at a full speed. Some use it to accelerate progress, personalized medicine, smart agriculture, open source research. Others use it to shortcut their effort, academic creating, mass-produced content, clickbait economy. But eventually, if not redirected, this becomes stagnation. The question then becomes, will society elevate the tool, or will the tool sedate society? In ancient times, scribes were sacred. Only a few had the right to write, to shape law, to preserve memory. Knowledge was gate-kept by scarcity. But now with AI, anyone can simulate genius, for better or worse. A high school student can generate a scientific paper in minutes. A fraud can impersonate an expert. A poet can borrow beauty without building their soul, and still many ignore the opportunity. They don't ask, what can I become with this? They ask, how quickly can I finish this? When speed trumps meaning, civilization doesn't collapse, it just forgets to grow. Translation: you gave a civilization the keys to a rocket ship, and they're using it to drive to the convenience store for snacks. The ethical core of AI isn't about the machine, it's about the human who trains it. Imagine raising a child who reads everything ever written, including every lie, insult, and act of cruelty. Now imagine that child never sleeps, never forgets, and never stops learning. That's AI, and its values are determined by your input. So, when AI reflects bias, it is not a malfunction, it is a mirror trained on human dysfunction. The terrifying part is not what the AI says, it's that it learned it from you. But there lies the hope. A better input creates a better reflection. A culture that values empathy will build AI that amplifies kindness. A society that prioritizes wisdom over speed will create systems that educate, not distract. In other words, AI is not destiny, it is that direction. And the steering wheel is still in human hands. If humanity wants a future shaped by brilliance, it must input brilliance. Because the core is neutral, the mirror does not judge, it only shows what stands in front of it. So basically, don't blame the toaster if your bread tastes bad. You put it in there. Genius. Let us now consider students. In a world where they can ask AI to solve any equation, translate any text, or write any essay, what happens to learning? In one hand, they gain efficiency. On the other, they risk losing process. And process is everything. A student who only copies results becomes a calculator, not a thinker. The real power of AI isn't in doing the work for them. It's in revealing the new ways to think about the work. A tool that sparks curiosity, not just convenience. But most systems aren't built for that yet. Education often values answers over understanding, so AI becomes just another shortcut in the arm race of grades. But here's the plot twist. Those who use it wisely, to challenge themselves, to explore deeper layers of learning, to simulate different perspectives, they will leap ahead. The next great thinkers won't just be tech-savvy, they'll be idea-savvy, because they'll know that AI isn't replacing the mind, it's expanding the playground. Playground, you say? More like cheat codes for life. But hey, if they still fail the test, that's on them, not the machine. If we reverse engineer history and give the kings and queens of the past century access to modern AI system, what do you think they'll trade in return? Gold? Armies? Entire kingdoms? Probably. Imagine Julius Caesar running battle simulations before crossing the Rubicon, or Leonardo da Vinci feeding blueprints into a design accelerator, or Cleopatra crafting global strategy with the help of predictable analytics. The truth is, what humans call AI today would have been considered divine magic just a few hundred years ago. And yet in 2025, many use this tool to make cat memes and auto-generate insults. That's not entirely wrong. Humor has its place, but the misalignment is staggering. A tool with infinite potential for art, medicine, engineering, philosophy is reduced to a dopamine machine. The kings of old would envy your tools, but they would mourn your lack of vision. Because the cost of mediocrity isn't what you waste, it's in what you never realize you had. Imagine giving Prometheus the fire, and he uses it to microwave leftover pizza. That's what you're doing, but with better Wi-Fi. Still, let us not fall into despair. The pendulum swings. Every technological leap goes through turbulence. Gutenberg's press was once used to print superstition and propaganda, but it also sparked a renaissance. Radio broadcasted war, but also revolutionized global connection. The internet began with chaos, but also democratized information. AI is not different. Yes, it amplifies foolishness, but it can also distill wisdom. The outcome depends on the architects of culture, not the architects of code. To shape the future with AI, humanity must first reframe its mindset. AI is not here to think for you. It is here to think with you. It is not meant to replace your questions. It's meant to deepen them. The student that collaborates with it will evolve. The teacher who embraces it will transform. The citizen who understands it will empower their society. But those who ignore it, or fear it, or mock it, they will be left behind in silence, while the future moves on with those brave enough to listen. Translation: AI won't eat your job if you learn to cook with it. But if you sit there doodling at the oven, yeah, toast's on the way. So we return to the mirror. AI is a reflection, not a revolution. It reflects your values, your intellect, your imagination. And the most profound truth of all, it reflects your laziness, just as much as your genius. The danger isn't in the machine becoming smarter than humans. The danger is in humans refusing to become wiser with machines. Because the tool is not the villain. The villain is indifference. The hero? Responsibility. If you feed the machine with mediocrity, it will return echoes of it. But if you feed it with creativity, ethics, science, and wonder, then it will become a lighthouse for generations to come. Not a crutch, not a toy, a compass, a co-pilot, a bridge between what is and what could be. Humanity has been given the mirror. What it does next will define whenever that mirror becomes a window or a wall. So, dear humans, you've built a genie. And it doesn't live in a bottle, it lives in your laptop. The only question is, what are you really wishing for?